Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So what do you want to do today?
So had another guest. Phil Repko joined us on Saturday, and I managed to edit all that right away.
That's impressive.
Yeah, they're out. I think if we have any more guests on, well, I mean, here this is a studio, so but anything on your end, I think we would recommend better that they join virtually
Mm-hmm.
if they have the opportunity to join from home.
Yep.
Uh, just because that, I don't know why, but that was more of a challenge than the interview we did with Amy Muzapapa.
Wow.
I didn't have to do as much. I went through that entire hour and did editing. And if you listen to it, because of like the slight delay and so on, sometimes we talk over each other, and
Okay.
then
Oh, I
somebody will
hate
say,
that.
"All right, go ahead, say what and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yield to the other person," kind of thing. I've edited all of those out. Without
Wow.
me saying that right now, you would not know that we had that issue with our interview with Phil Repko on Saturday. So
Okay.
um, uh, that I just don't remember having to do with Amy.
No, the
Um,
episode with Amy that I listened to went really well.
yeah,
But
yeah, I
hey,
thought so too. And
yeah.
and Phil's interview and the episodes we actually did two. I split them up.
Oh, good.
They went great. It was great conversation.
Good.
Um,
Good.
and I didn't realize there was an actual title to the essay, the
Essay.
contribution to the expression.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought we were talking about his tribute to Bob Hilligus and Charles Haddad, and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Marianne
that was
Deary.
what we were talking about, right?
Right.
That's all the stuff I remembered from having read that myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's going to take the time to write something else separately from what he already did for those. So that's why in the very beginning I just kind of sat back and I'm starting to try to figure out and use the
Yeah.
context clues and things like
Yes. Yes.
that. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes. Yes.
there's no way that he can do.
Well, again, his essay really touched me. Obviously, I knew all three of those people fairly well,
Yeah, remind me,
and
who was the third?
Bob Hilligus, Marianne Deary, and Charles Haddad.
Okay, Marianne is the one I knew of but did not know. Um, Charles Haddad, I kind of sort of knew of only because I graduated with his son Phil, and I just knew
Mm-hmm.
that he was a very active person in the community.
Yeah,
And
incredible.
then
Yeah.
my 10th grade year, the one year that I played senior high football, was Coach Hill's first.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first year he replaced Don Grimm
It could be, but
because that was because
my
Matt was a quarterback and
my story with who you refer to as Coach Hill and I knew as Bob Hilligus
yeah.
played a very tiny part in my life that still is kind of alive with people who know me. In that the night that I met Paul or spent any more than 2 minutes with Paul, we were at a pool party and I had just come down from, watching James Bond movies with my mother and my brother. And I walked down to the pool from the State Theater to be part of the pool party. And when I got there and was looking around for someone to talk to, I saw Bob. And he had started to walk over to talk to me, as I recall. And between that moment and the next, Paul stepped in front of him. And then I know. And the rest is history. And the rest is history. But, Paul jokes about it, and it's interesting to consider what may have been. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway,
And
but I
his
know
wife's name is
Barbara.
Barb. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's always been kind of a funny moment from my own personal
Definitely.
history. That's the only thing that connects Coach Hill and me.
Yeah,
was kind
because
of
you
a
were
was kind of a I was so excited that I had. I mean, he was you know a desirable football player at that particular
yeah,
time, and little old me and
right.
all that kind of stuff. And I was really delighted that I had caught his eye for a second, and then Paul happened. So. So we share
Wah,
that
wah.
on both sides now. Speaking of both sides now, did you watch the Grammys at all last night?
I did not. No. I heard there were a bunch of really good performances. Apparently, Tracy Chapman was even better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but no, I didn't.
Joni
I don't
Mitchell
usually
was
follow stuff
there.
like that. Who
Joni
was?
Mitchell was there. Joni Mitchell, both sides now.
Stop it. Oh,
Joni Mitchell
well,
was there. Yes. And she's had some really serious medical issues. And
I didn't know.
yeah, she I believe had an aneurysm a number of years ago and serious medical issues. And she had some serious medical issues, I believe, as a child. Anyway, she's older now. She's 80 now. And, facing those particular issues also, in addition to aging, it was
Yeah.
really, and she sang both sides now. And of
Well.
course, I thought of you
Oh, that
during
was
the
huge.
entire thing. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
inspiring for the audience. It was really inspiring for the audience.
I will
So
have to see if that's made its way to YouTube yet.
I'm sure it will make its way to YouTube somehow. But of course, you know, I thought of you and our program at at that particular moment and thought, here we are. Here we are.
Well,
So,
there's news coverage of her.
mhm. Are you looking at it
Oh,
now?
yeah, I can reshare that instead, so you can
Mhm.
see that. Um,
But I thought not yesterday, but Saturday, once again, I mean, there were the three of us, and it was three sides now from three
yeah.
different generations, as it were, almost, or three different time
Did you
periods
see?
at any rate.
Did you see the way I titled that episode?
I have forgotten already, but I paid attention to it and made a comment on the Facebook. You had shared it on Facebook, I think, and so I made a comment
Yeah.
about it on there. But I have
Okay.
forgotten what you titled it. Did you title it "The
I
Measure"?
said
Did you?
Boyertown's no, Boyertown's prose poet Phil Repko.
Yes, I saw that, and I love the photo that you inserted of Phil from. I guess it was a
Yeah.
screen capture, huh?
Yeah, it was.
That was great. I loved that photo. That was really cute. It was hard to read the typing, the font or the color or the
Uh,
size or whatever.
yeah,
But I figured it out.
I used the same font that we use on our own thumbnail, which is basically what that was, just a plaster on top of.
Yep.
And um, so USA Today, The Atlantic has what Joni Mitchell proved at the Grammys. That's going to be just a story. USA
Mhm.
Today has Grammys 2024, all the best and worst performances ranked.
Mhm.
Yahoo News has Joni Mitchell perform stirring rendition of Both Sides Now.
Mhm.
But Grammy.com has there's some other videos on, like, the Hollywood Reporter, Paul Grandel, Daily Beast.
Mhm.
Yeah, that Daily Beast says she's only given a handful of live performances since she suffered a brain aneurysm in 2015.
Mhm. Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is I'll have to look through these. See, Grammys.com, I'm thinking might have.
Might have her
I was just got there in
performance.
braids. Well,
Yep. 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 So anyway, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. There were a lot, and Phil made a comment on Facebook about it that he had not really checked into the Grammys in recent years, but he did last night and found it to be very moving. All the respect, really, that was given to performers from years ago. Elton John, for example, um,
yeah.
his that story about his not writing songs for, gosh, I don't know how many years. He said, I've forgotten that detail, but some young man got him motivated to create a new song, which he sang last night. And that was really fascinating. So there were a
Elton
lot
John
of
sang
real,
last night.
yeah, there were really a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
moving moments there were a lot of really moving moments from performers of old. So, and I love Trevor
Did
Noah.
he?
So there you go.
Oh, nice. Is that who hosted it?
Yes, he's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's the
funny.
best. I was a little
I forget
disappointed
which
that
year.
John Baptiste didn't win anything in any of the categories for which he was nominated, but he blew everybody away, I think, last year. So it was his
Yeah.
turn to take a step back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
but I loved his piece, Butterfly, that he performed, I believe, on Stephen Colbert a number of weeks or months ago. I can't even remember anymore. It's a beautiful piece, absolutely beautiful piece. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
And then there
Yeah.
was
I don't
one.
remember which year it was. I
Mhm.
don't remember which year it was, but Trevor Noah was one of the featured comedians at the White House Correspondents' Dinner,
Oh,
and he's just very witty
oh,
and
he's so
um,
smart. We listened to him every night during the pandemic.
yeah,
And
yeah.
did you listen to him at all during the pandemic? You were probably
No,
busy.
not as much during the pandemic, but I catch it here and there,
Well,
and always have.
I have to just say, because I've never shared it any other place, not that it's a secret or anything, but I loved it that every night during the pandemic, he had a different colored hoodie on. I don't think he wore the same hoodie one single time. Every night it was a different color.
Wow.
And I pay attention. I really like award shows to check out the outfits of the performers of one kind or another. That my husband knows that that's one of my favorite things to do during those shows, is to check out the outfits and listen to the speeches. I mean, that's what I'm interested in. I don't really care
Yeah,
much who wins, but what I care about is what they're wearing, how they look, and how they present themselves when they give their acceptance speeches. And I was really disappointed that my recording from last night, because we recorded it and then came back to it so we could skip through the commercials, but my recording ended right at the beginning of Taylor Swift's final acceptance speech, and I was really disappointed in that. But it's fun.
why did why did your recording end?
Oh, Paul had it set for only a certain amount of time, I guess. I
Oh,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I
it
was
was the
gonna say,
recorder itself.
did you run out of tape?
No. Remember those days? Oh my
Oh,
God.
Jesus.
Oh my God. I think my mother had one of the very first VCR recorders ever. That, I mean, and she bought one for herself. She loved TV, my mother. My mother loved TV. And then she bought a VCR for herself, and she bought one for my brother. She bought one for me, and I can remember thinking, Mother, this is your thing, not my thing. But it's Paul's thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And Paul bought one of is it Tevo back in the
yeah.
day, that preceded, all the things that Comcast offers now. But we bought a
Right.
lifetime subscription to TiVo, you know.
Wow.
I mean, things have changed dramatically since those days, and it's just wonderful. I just love it. I just love it. So,
Wow.
anyway, that's
Is that
that's the beginning of whatever it is we're going to talk about today.
how does a lifetime subscription to TiVo work?
Well, it went away.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a lawsuit.
It no. We abandoned it perhaps when a different opportunity came along through Comcast, I guess. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. As I tell Paul all the time, if he were not around, I would be listening to 3, 6, and 10. The three major channels. I wouldn't know how to do anything else.
I don't
Technology is not my thing. Yeah.
I haven't had cable TV,
Oh,
at
okay.
least not working. And that's kind of the
Mhm.
moment of contention right now in the Yerger household. Since I moved here to Tampa, I
Mhm.
did have cable in LA because that was the type of internet I had at the time, which
Mhm.
for LA was like the fast internet.
Yeah.
I get the same type of internet here, and I can barely get it to work.
Mm.
Well,
Mhm.
actually, the internet worked. It was just definitely slower than what it was in LA.
Mhm.
But then the TV kind of sort of worked, didn't work, kind of sort of worked.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, I don't have the channels or the capability that I was supposed to have.
Yeah.
And the telephone, because it was that bundle thing where you have,
Mhm.
internet,
Yep.
TV, and
Yep.
landline telephone.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I've always had that
Mhm.
throughout my 21 years as a Secret Service agent.
Mhm.
And then I think after 9/11, because of all the cell phone service that went down with the towers, we were required to have it,
Mhm.
in lieu of, our cell phones going dead.
Right.
I think a lot of people pushed back because the government was not paying for us to have it.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah.
When I'm like, really, that's where you want to, be able, you want to not be able to call the office to tell them you're alive.
Mhm.
So anyway, um, but yeah, I couldn't watch basic network TV if I wanted to.
It's we right. I understand. I have shows that occur on basic TV, 3, 6, and 10. Okay.
Yeah.
And I admit they're not the most intellectually stimulating, but they're cathartic for me. So I watch them. I love
And
them. Medical
for those
shows, crime
joining
shows. Yeah.
outside of the Philadelphia market,
Yeah.
3, 6, and 10 are ABC, NBC, and
NBC and
CBS.
CBS. Right. Right. Just so we know, right? Yeah. Anyway,
Um, okay, speaking of crime shows,
crime shows.
did you
Oh, I
see
love crime shows.
the two
Go ahead.
podcasts that I've sent you?
Excuse me.
Okay, so I gotta either resend or have you dig. I don't remember if I texted the link to you or sent it via Facebook or email. I don't remember. So we'll just talk about it now, quick, and then we'll.
Okay.
Speaking of 9/11, that's actually one of the big episodes.
Oh.
Um, Two podcasts that I've been listening to. One I finished because it started over the summer, and the other one I think just finished, but I'm not finished with the episodes. The first one is called, and this one's a bit of a stretch for crime drama, but it's something that I think would get your blood boiling. The first one is called The Whistleblowers. I've
Oh.
referenced it throughout
Okay.
various conversations. I know here would have been one of them, and I definitely talk about it on my radio show. In fact, we have a commercial for it on
Did you
Yergz
say it
Radio.
was? Did you say it was new
They're
this
both new
season?
this year.
Okay.
Uh,
So I have that one marked as something I should watch. Yes.
yeah. So The Whistleblowers is about everybody in the Trump administration
Oh,
who basically said, "Hey, this is wrong. This is this, that, or the other thing,"
yeah.
and they were essentially then hunted down by the Trump administration
Yeah.
and retribution and not retribution, the blowback and the retaliation, which is illegal to do to a whistleblower, was done anyway.
Well, yeah,
And
I know somebody who is experiencing some of those things. Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
Hmm.
And it's narrated by a guy named Miles Taylor. If you remember a New York Times op-ed, one of the very few in their history that was written by an anonymous person. This person was known as Anonymous during the Trump administration.
Hmm.
It was him detailing all of the shit going on in the Trump administration.
Hmm.
Miles Taylor from the Department of Homeland Security is that author. And as such,
Oh,
he's the narrator of the series.
okay. Well, I will definitely check into it. Is it streamed? And is it streamed on a particular platform?
It's produced by iHeart Media, but it's on
Okay.
Spotify. It's on all of them, whichever
Okay.
one you prefer.
Okay.
I think it's also on Apple. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Right. Right. It probably
Because
is.
something like that, it says from iHeart Podcasts. Is the
And
producer of it.
mhm. What's the second one?
Second one, I know you're gonna like. Um, we haven't. I think we did kind of sort of talk about this in one of the episodes at some point because you referenced the fact that I would not have been alive yet.
Oh,
Is one co-hosted by Rob Reiner, Meathead from
okay.
All in the Family,
Yep.
and Soledad O'Brien from CNN. And
Okay.
her production company is the one that produced this one, and it's called Who Killed JFK?
Right. I've seen some interviews with Rob Rein. What do I want to say?
Reiner. Reiner.
Reiner. Okay. I've seen
No, no
interviews with
T.
him. Yep. About that particular show.
Reiner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he and his wife produced it. Soledad O'Brien produced it, and then he and Soledad O'Brien are the narrators of it.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
it's from things that I've always suspected or pieced together myself
Mm-hmm.
to things that really have already been a part of our history.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that nobody knows it.
Do you find it disturbing in a more general sense to know this, that it contributes to the credibility of all the conspiracy theories that are running around? I mean,
No, because
there's a crack in my, what do you say, in my naivete
yeah,
as a result of
um,
some of the things I'm learning, and it's really disturbing. Kind of keeps me awake
yeah,
at night.
yeah. Um,
And
what I'll
you
say
must
is that
confront that all the time.
yeah, yeah. What I'll say is that if there's a certain level of dirty tricks especially during campaigns,
Mhm.
that's been happening since 1781.
Okay. Well,
In fact,
yeah. Mhm.
have been elected president, for example, back in those times, with the incredibly lacking communication skills compared to today,
Mhm.
I'm impressed that anybody got elected in the first place.
Well, did you ever visit the museum,
Yes.
the museum in Washington?
Yes, it's closed now, sadly, but
Oh,
yes, I did.
I know, which I think that broke my heart because it was
Yeah.
I just loved it. And in
Yeah.
one of the rooms in the museum, they took you back into some of the broadsides, some of the newspapers back in the day, talking about politicians and talking about, different people. They were brutal. I
Yeah.
mean, we're pussycats
Yep.
compared to the old days, how they wrote about one another. They minced no words whatsoever. I mean, there was
Right.
PC back then. Yeah, there was no politically
I
correct
think,
back then.
yeah, and I think part of the reason why that was what got you prestige as a journalist was to be
Well, yeah,
critical
it's
but
Howard
complimentary when
Stern.
necessary. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the Howard Stern of the day. I mean, that's
yeah,
what gets attention. That's what people like. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. They like the controversy. They like the debate. They like the, the edginess of, of journalism.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I will never, nothing I ever do will ever go viral. just, I just don't do that.
I don't know. Yeah,
You'll have to lead me into it. How's that?
you
Hmm.
start as 2 weeks from because we start Monday. So 2 weeks from yesterday, you start on WDJY in Atlanta, Sunday
You
afternoons.
say that again. You crapped out there for a second.
Oh,
Two
sorry.
weeks from
So
today.
starting 2 weeks from yesterday,
Yesterday.
you will be starting Be Inspired
Season
podcast
5. Yeah.
uh, on WDJY in Atlanta.
Oh my God. I can start promoting that?
Yeah.
Holy
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
wow. Oh, I need the
That's going to be your
details so I
day.
get it absolutely right. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Sure.
We're going national.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, well, it's global, really, because just like this, that is an FM station, and it is on 99.1 in Atlanta,
Holy
but it is also on
cow.
the internet.
Wow. So if I went to Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, and tuned into 99.1 at 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings, we could hear my conversations with my friends.
They changed the time slot. It's not
Oh,
11, it's going to be at 5 p.
oh, okay.
But
Oh,
now
okay.
everybody's home from church. 11 o'clock, everybody's in church,
Okay,
especially in
you're right.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoons, my people with whom with whom I've had conversations on the Be Inspired podcast can listen to themselves. Oh, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. Oh my God.
So I think in the name of spring training,
Oh.
you might want to create a list of baseball people from Boyertown that are still in the area and that you can still talk to and do a series of episodes with so that by the time the season starts in April, people can listen to this show on the way to the Braves game.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. That will be really exciting. I do have a friend who goes every year to Clearwater for spring training.
Who's
So
that?
his name is Ronald Moyer. We've always called him Gummy, but he's there now.
Yeah, because it starts like pitchers and catchers might have started already.
Oh yes,
You know
yes.
who else would know what those dates are? Gary Williams.
Is he in Clearwater? Gary?
No, he lives in Reading,
Yes,
but he and his new co-host is Courtney Gift from my graduating class.
I remember her. Hmm.
She's a new co-host starting this month or next month of the Backroom Show,
Wow.
and I'm brain farting now. They're both Phillies fans. They're both Philly sports fans, particularly
Wow.
Phillies and Eagles. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're more Sixers or Flyers,
Hmm.
but I know Gary just posted recently the time frame. You know how long it is till pitchers and catchers report, how long
Okay.
it is till full spring training, and then how long it is till opening day.
Well, we should give a shout out to Gary then,
Well, definitely, and
and
I
Courtney,
need a
and
new
Courtney.
coaster. I
You
need a
need a
new
new
coaster.
coaster.
This one's getting a little soggy, and the Florida sun has beaten up the sticker that's on the back of my minivan.
No kidding. That's great. That's great. So,
which I'm considering getting wrapped with like Yergz radio motif.
oh, may I ask,
Take
did
the
you get
whole
a
thing a
quote for that
write-off.
yet? Did you get a quote for
No,
that
but
yet?
there's a place less than a mile from my house that does it. And
Wow.
my neighbor just had his Dodge Durango done as a birthday present for his now 16-year-old son.
Wow.
So I'll get him to give me the lowdown.
There you go. There you go. That will be cool. That will be really
Yeah.
cool. But then, you're less than anonymous. You don't like to give your address anywhere. So
No.
that would destroy that
Well,
goal.
the upside to that is uh, I know how to do counter surveillance.
Oh,
So I know if
okay.
somebody's going to be following me home or not. And the other thing is I have a garage for the van.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's going to
All
see it
right.
parked out
All
front
right. All
like it
right.
is right now.
Well, I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of government conspiracy theories and government and how we did, our 9/11 episode is in the top 5 on both Spotify and YouTube. I don't know. Can you see the
Now,
screen at all?
I can see the screen, yes, and I was wondering if that long bar was a result of those people who listened into our first episode, or
So
if it continues to grab listeners. Do you know that?
it's both. It
Okay.
is the oldest episode on our
Right.
list.
It's our first one,
Um, but actually, one of the youngest ones is our number one episode on YouTube.
which is
That's where you and I discussed whether or not we annoy the audience. The,
yes.
the things where,
Yeah.
what are we doing wrong or what are we doing
Yes.
right? Apparently, we're doing something right. That's the best episode.
That's so funny. We can be annoying, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't think it's
Well,
because we're doing anything wrong in podcasting. I think we're just
no.
annoying.
Well, I think people hope to learn from us. How's that? I mean, we were in our
So,
teaching mode. We were in a
yeah,
teaching mode. Yeah, that was
exactly.
good. That was good. I liked it. There were,
So,
I
yeah,
have
so
been,
similarly, well,
I have been,
when you see a news reporter or you see a video of inside a radio station, there's what's
hmm
called a flag on the microphone. It's like the
hmm
CBS logo or the
yes, yes,
ESPN
yes.
logo.
hmm
I'm getting one made for mine so that when
mm
I do video in conjunction with my radio show, most of which is on video, you'll be able to see the Yergz radio logo on my
Oh.
microphone when you're looking at me.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, I'm
Very
that
cool.
pathetic.
Very cool. Yeah, you're getting really professional here. Are you
Oh
still
yeah,
having? Are you still having fun?
yeah, yeah. I actually Friday is my work day to sleep in because
Okay.
Thursday I have that 8 o'clock call that you joined us a couple weeks ago on.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So I'm up by 7:30 that day, and sometimes there's during the beginning of the week there's something that's getting me up earlier. So Friday is my day to sleep in, and that usually bleeds into the weekend. Even though I work all day Saturday and
Mm.
Sunday, I usually sleep till like 9:30, 10 o'clock, or at least just lie in bed doing nothing, dreaming
Yeah.
of, some hot guy lying there with me. Um, but today and yesterday, I actually got up earlier wanting to get to work.
No
And,
kidding.
that kind of feeling's really coming back.
That's
Um,
good. That's good. You need
which I was
breaks,
very
though.
glad for you.
I was glad you
What's that?
had a nap yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. 8:30, 9 o'clock or whatever time that was. That was a really brilliant idea.
Yeah, that was good. Well, you know what? I think we've gone on now for a little bit. So my guess is you're going to want to turn what we've done in the last 30, 40 minutes, 35,
34. Yep.
34 minutes. You may want to turn that into one of our episodes of both sides now.
Hey, gang. We did it again. We talked long enough to create an episode before actually starting the episode. So, this will be an intermission. Take your bathroom break, refill your coffee or cocktail, and we'll see you back here for part 2.